plan and watch film. I feel like today, preparing for the show, I watched more film than Doug Peterson does in a week preparing for the next team. Like, it's ridiculous the amount of things that I saw, the errors that I saw in this Philadelphia
team. It's really bad that every single week, like, all the commentators can tell you what's wrong, and the same issues continue to recur.
Like, I don't understand the problem.
I understand it.
It's like
Doug Peterson wasn't the head coach of that Super Bowl team.
He wasn't the play caller. He needs to give up play.
It was Frank Reich. Yeah. Frank Reich, as far as I'm concerned, should have been the head coach, and he basically was.
Dealing with Doug Peterson right now is like dealing with that toxic ex that just doesn't want to let go. Like, you keep giving him a chance after chance after chance, and then, like, at the end of the day, like, they're still just messing it up. You're throwing them oop like, yo, you should do this. Oh, you should do that. Doug
so
Peterson
then let's lower these expectations.
No, it's called you let them go.
Let them go. Lower these expectations for the rest of the season. Lower these expectations for the rest of the season and let them go.
You just now started following me on Twitter. I tweet it every Sunday.
Yeah.
Fire Doug Peterson.
I'm
the
cool
same way I religiously did it every Sixers game about fire Brett Brown, I will do that until Doug Peterson is gone. He has to make changes. If he makes changes, he's off my hot seat. Until then, every single Sunday, right on time, doesn't matter what time the game is, fire Doug Peterson.
And you'll see more people call for Carson Wentz's job than Doug Peterson.
But see,
which it starts from the top and then you work your way down.
So I want to take a different route. Usually, the weeks in the past, I've gone on and I've been ripping my man Carson because I've lost hope.
Oh yeah, he's
I'm
dookie
upset.
chunks.
But what I did was, when I told you I was watching some film earlier, right? So I went back and I was looking at the 2017 campaign. And I was looking at Carson Wentz. And I wanted to see what's the difference between Carson Wentz now and Carson Wentz then. So there's a few things that I saw. So
fresh knee.
Exactly. He could move out of the pocket. Another thing that I saw, the offensive line was holding up. Like, they were really holding up for him. Yeah. Okay. We ran a lot of run plays, okay, which another thing that was good about the run that we did, because we had Garrett Blunt that year, we had Jay Ajayi that year, we had Corey Clement that year, and I think we sprinkled in a little bit of Darren Sproles, right? So we had a lot of, like, running action, but
a lot of different type of running action.
You also had a lot of youth.
Yes, youth as well, but we got rid of the ball quicker. I feel like that's something that Carson Wentz really needs to do. Another thing, you saw more creativity in the offense. There was a lot of misdirections. Okay, that was another thing that was fantastic. And one thing I did, and I'll be honest with you, Carson still played hero ball back then. He still played hero ball back then. The only difference is the play calling was a little bit different, so where the wide receivers actually got a little bit of separation. Alshon Jeffrey, Zach Ertz, like Torrey Smith, even Nelson Aguilar, those guys were pretty good. But he still held the ball way too long. So from watching that, this is what I feel needs to happen. So in Doug's mind, Carson Wentz is no longer a mobile quarterback. We can tell. We can tell the way Carson Wentz plays that Doug Peterson believes that Carson Wentz is no longer
that knee injury is taking a toll. The back injury, shoulder injury to go with it also. And like, there's no way that Carson Wentz is still a mobile quarterback in this league. But at the same time,
honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if he's playing hurt right now.
But at the same time, even if a mobile quarterback was in that backfield, it couldn't do anything with that offensive line because, like, and not to mention,
I got a solution for that. But go ahead.
But the weapons too, just like awful. You talk about the 2017. Who were your wide receivers? You had Torrey Smith, who was still an aging veteran, but could still get the job done on
still take the top off defense.
Absolutely,
take the top off the defense. You had Alshon Jeffrey, the big 50-50 catcher. He's been riddled with injuries for the past 3 years. Who else were your other wide receivers?
Nelson Aguilar.
Nelson Aguilar, when he
had a career year.
He had a career year.
Zach
no job itis.
Well.
Zach Ertz also, and
Trey Burton.
Trey Burton with the Philly special. Exactly. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, back then, you had youth, you had talent, and you had no injuries to this team. And you also had Nick Foles. Let's not also downplay his career.
We're going to downplay that. Nick Foles not getting no more airplay on here. He done. He's done. I don't want to hear that name no more. He gets no more airplay on here.
Okay.
So this is how we're going to fix Carson Wentz, okay? So since we're going to treat Carson Wentz like he's not a mobile quarterback, so why don't we do some film and we watch some quarterbacks who aren't mobile and see what they do? So I'm like, if Carson Wentz is going to succeed going forward in this Philadelphia Eagles offense, he should play like Ben Roethlisberger. That's the closest person that I can think of that Carson Wentz needs to play like. Number one, think about all the tackles that Ben Roethlisberger breaks. He's able to step out of the pocket, et cetera, et cetera. He's not fast. He doesn't have any trailblazing speed or anything like that. But one thing that I saw that made Ben Roethlisberger so well, even this year, is a lot of three-step drops. That's how they killed us and came back against us. A lot of three-step drops, getting the ball out right away. They had, like, when you see the Eagles type of three-step drops, it is terrible. They got dudes all running 4 verticals. What the? That's why he's getting sacked and holding the ball. Now, it takes both. It takes the coaching and the player.
Yes, it
so
does.
they need to run. They need to get rid of the freaking RPO. The RPO essentially eliminates the three-step drop. You're spending this time hiking it. You're getting it. You're doing it fake. You could already do 3 steps by now.
Also, the RPO doesn't work if you're not getting off the ball quick.
And
also,
or if you don't have someone that can actually give you enough time to pull it off. But let me
And
tell you
also-
what, you said
Agreed.
you're comparing Carson to Ben Roethlisberger?
the current Carson Wentz because he can't run anymore. In
Right.
Doug's mind.
Right, but when you think about what Ben Roethlisberger has,
98.5 WJYN. Yes, you're listening to the Running Back Sports Show.
hey, Brady.
Yeah. Thank you.
What did he say?
We sound
Oh,
handsome.
you can't hear. You sound. Oh, he said you sound handsome.
Oh, thank you, Brady. Greatest reporter out of Evansville, Illinois.
He said you're a great reporter out of Illinois, right?
Evansville, Illinois.
Evansville. Nice.
All right,
Juan
so-
doesn't have on headphones. We don't have enough headphones.
So we got to communicate.
So he's winging it. He came late, so he had to
Last,
sit, he had
man,
to
so
sit
priority.
back.
All right, man. So you got a question for us?
Oh, right now.
So accepting that Carson Wentz is bad, it's difficult for me because number one, I feel that it's up to the coaching staff to put your players in the right position. So you kind of called in the right moment. One of the things I was saying is that Doug needs to put Carson in winning situations where he's hitting 3-step drops. Wide receivers are running slants instead of running 4 verticals down the field. You need to do some chip blocking here. If you notice that your left tackle's a little weak, all right, chip block over there towards the left because that's where Carson Wentz was getting destroyed by the Browns. At the end of the day, I don't think Carson Wentz is garbage because he's not garbage. But it comes down to the game planning and putting your team and your players in the right situation. And after watching every single Eagles game week in and week out, none of my guys are ever in the right situation.
What was the question?
Carson, when are we going to hang it up on Carson Wentz and just accept that he's a bum?
We can do that right now. We can do that right now.
Oh, man.
Here's the thing. In the end, like every quarterback needs the right system in order for him to thrive. Baker
True.
Mayfield was quote unquote labeled as a bust last year. Kevin Stefanski came in, altered the entire offense. It's kind of similar to what Philadelphia was going through last year. It's nothing but 3-step drop, vertical passes, everybody going right down the field. But Kevin Stefanski came in, they became a lot more run oriented. Baker Mayfield operated more on play action rollout. He get him out of the pocket, hitting guys. Now with Odell out, even still then. Hitting guys like Jarvis Landry, those tight ends that he got, David Njoku, Austin Hooper, Rashard Higgins, Donovan Peoples-Jones. So in the end, it's not just all up to the quarterback. I mean, granted, Carson Wentz has not been playing to absolve himself from any sort of criticism, but Doug Peterson's play calling has definitely did him no favors. And the fact that there's no accountability, there's no leadership, not just even on the field, but just from management as well. We don't have an offensive coordinator. Well, we got passing game coordinators. We have like a whole offensive committee. So it's like we have a bunch of stuff in like the office. Like we got a bunch of Dwight Schrutes, the assistant to the assistant general to the regional manager. And when you got a system like that, it's not going to work. Doug Peterson is not Sean McVay. He's not even Kyle Shanahan. So the fact that we have this busted system in which Carson Wentz operates a lot more when it comes to rolling out, and Doug Peterson's not rolling them out in 1 out of 41 times where he dropped back. It just makes it a lot more harder for your offense to, get some consistency.
And Brady, I want to ask, man, who would you rather have quarterbacking your Buffalo Bills, man? Like Carson Wentz or Josh Allen?
Mm-hmm.
Might be.
I think also the difference between Josh Allen and Carson Wentz is that every single year, Sean McDermott and that offensive coaching staff, they make strides to improve that offense to make Josh Allen a lot more comfortable in the offense. This offseason, they got Stephon Diggs on a massive discount. Cole Beasley still one of the better slot receivers in the league. And even within, you still got Josh Allen, running with guys like, Singletary, Zach Moss. But you could tell that there's a level of comfortability and confidence that Josh Allen has in his offense that Carson Wentz doesn't.
So let me just interject real quick, because once again, you're just bringing up my point. That's 2 times in a row. You mentioned Baker Mayfield. You said he got a better coach.
Yes.
Who put him in the right situation.
Yes.
You just said the same thing about Josh Allen.
Yes.
Who has a coach who put him in the right situation.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, listen, you watch any other young quarterback in the league. I don't think any other young quarterback is struggling more than Carson Wentz is. You're seeing Kyler Murray getting better every single year under Cliff Kingsbury. You're seeing now with Russell Wilson taking more command of the offense, is now in an MVP conversation. It might actually get an MVP vote this year. You're seeing it with Josh Allen. You're seeing it even with, Bill O'Brien gone. You're still seeing Deshaun Watson still making do even without trading with DeAndre Hopkins for essentially nothing. So we're seeing these young quarterbacks thrive because they have the coaching, they have the confidence, and more importantly, just the management also, because that's also huge, that put their quarterbacks, their investments, there's something that they're going to be putting the rest of their lives, their mortgage, their real estate, their families in that city on their quarterback and making sure that they have everything that they can. Yeah, absolutely. But, got any more questions before we get you out of here?
Quick question. Our side conversation today is, what video game have you spent countless hours playing?
That's a good one.
What was it?
Witcher 3.
Witcher 3.
Oh, not bad.
Okay, cool. Nice, man. Cool. Thanks for having me. Call in anytime.
Yeah, man, you got the number, so call back in anytime. Thanks for tuning in.
Gotta get Juan on more often.
Oh, man. Yeah. If you're going to pay for my gas, Brady, I'll come down every time.
Juan, I told you, I cash at you $5, bro.
Oh.
That's the least I can do.
Listen, once again, listen to Uptown Radio, WJYN, the 1-year anniversary show of the Running Back Sports Show, Sports for the Culture. We got Chris Thomas, we got Mark Thompson, we got Freeman, we got Juan, and we're talking NFL.
The number to join the conversation, 215-763-9596.
Listen, and on the top of the hour, the 6 o'clock hour, we're going to dive right into NBA action, post-NBA draft and free agency moves, big-time free agency moves.
I want to say something about Carson Wentz. Another thing that
what else we're going to talk about?
We went a full half hour on
This is
Carson.
it. This
I was
is
about
it.
to ask, if you think Taysom Hill would be a better option than
this
Carson
is it.
Wentz.
I'll take a garbage can.
We got 2 minutes left on this, and I'm leaving it at this. All right. So another thing that I saw from Carson Wentz, as we mentioned, he was very mobile. He was able to get out of the pocket. One thing that I did see back in 2017, he looked at his 2 progressions. They weren't there. He took off. So we know he had that ACL injury, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to sit here and act like I was some elite athlete or anything like that, but I tore my ACL. Every time I play basketball, I'm no longer the same player because mentally, in my head, I'm thinking, dang, I can't do this. Ooh, shouldn't cut like that. If I land like this. This is stuff that I'm thinking about on a regular. And this is just me. I'm just a regular person. Imagine what Carson Wentz is thinking. I think he needs a sports therapist or something because he's got so much going on in his head that you can clearly see something is up with the kid.
This isn't the yips, though. This is not like
It's
a mental.
not the yips, it's confidence.
It's confidence, sure, but you're still seeing him try to play hero ball. You don't play hero ball without having at least a minute bit of confidence within you.
I think he doesn't lack the confidence.
Carson Wentz has some semblance of confidence. You see it every time he's playing out there. It's the fact that he has no one to protect him. It's the fact that he has no one to throw to, and the fact that he has an earpiece head coach that doesn't know what he's doing anymore. It's not the confidence. It's like, for me, I want to not blame this on Carson Wentz. I love the guy as a quarterback, but you can only do so much with what you're given, and he has nothing to work with down here in Philly.
I don't think it's his knee at all. Once Derrick Rose shot 23 in a game on the Timberwolves, And he said, yeah, I don't know why people are nervous about me. They can fix knees now. I'm like, okay, yeah, this torn ACL stuff, not as bad as we used to think.
No, knees can be fixed. That's not a problem. My knee
Knees
is
can be fixed.
My knee is
Performance cannot.
perfectly fine, but performance cannot, and your mental stability when you're on the court or on the field, because that pain is like none other.
I think when you're somebody who almost won MVP, or a guy like Derrick Rose who has won MVP, when you're that type of caliber athlete, yeah.
But
I don't think that confidence goes
No,
away.
but you also got to remember, it took Derrick Rose nearly 2 years for him to get back on the court as well.
It took people a long time to give him a chance, and he kept getting hurt. He had he had an eye injury as well. He had a lot of stuff going on.
Speaking of
and a little bit of depression.
Speaking of the ACL tear, can we talk a little bit about the Joe Burrow ACL tear that we saw this week?
That was
Terrible business.
Let's break that down a little bit. A lot of people, we kept talking about how that offensive line couldn't protect Joe Burrow. Why put him out there anyways? Just to get him experience, right? Because he's a rookie quarterback coming into the NFL.
I'm not trying to see Ryan Finley.
Yeah, no one is. Cincinnati fans aren't paying. Shout out to the Jungle Queen in Cincinnati, Miss Alyssa Lyons out there. But also, like I was saying, in Cincinnati, this is they still had weapons to work with so long as Joe Burrow was on the team.
Yeah.
Tate, you had what was his name? T. Higgins.
Yeah.
You had
AJ Green.
You had
my
Green.
boy.
You had AJ Green finally starting to develop some stuff of chemistry.
Yes.
The offensive line wasn't spectacular, but it wasn't exactly terrible either. It just so happens that the Washington football team's defensive line is just chock full of first-round picks that can get to the quarterback. We know that because Washington has the top 2 passing defense in the NFL. Now, with Joe Burrow, his structural damage is completely messed up. It is a complete torn ACL, a complete torn ACL, a torn MCL, and a lot of structural damage. We haven't seen this bad of an ACL tear since Adrian Peterson had it done in 2011 against the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 15. And what happened the next year after that? He won MVP and ran for 2,000 yards.
First play, he ran for 80 yards there?
And to be honest, the one person that I feel that would be able to have that type of drive to return that the way that Adrian Peterson did was Joe Burrow. I really like that kid a lot.
That's Joe Cool.
Yo, I like
his
him
nickname for
so
me. Joe
much. So much. I hope he just don't let me. I like him.
But it's not even Burrow though. This isn't even the worst injury, young player injury of the season. Burrow's not the first guy to tear his ACL this year. Saquon Barkley, Odell Beckham Jr., Nick Bosa, Tariq Cohen, Devin Bush, Cortland Sutton, Taylor Lewan, Bruce Irvin. Injuries are on a major high this year. And we talked about this, I think, last month when I was here when we were going about the injury bug that was going around.
I think you just named half my fantasy team.
If you had Taylor Lewan on your fantasy team, I want to know how you're drafting.
Basically, if you got an ACL, that don't getting torn.
But I'm looking at all this list, these are star quality players.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to think to myself, out of this entire list, I can see maybe 3 of these guys coming back to their usual standards. The rest, I don't see it. Bruce Irvin is too old. Taylor Lewan, as an offensive lineman, you need great knee strength in order to perform your job as a blindside tackle. And if you lose it because of a torn ACL, you're done. Cortland Sutton is a great receiver. He's a physical receiver, but playing receiver is also really a wear and tear on the knees. Saquon Barkley is a freak athlete. Joe Burrow, I think, can still come back from it. And the other guy, Nick Bosa, I think can still have a potential for all-time.
Well, this wasn't a normal off-season for everybody.
No.
It wasn't at all. And, you just miss some days in the gym going as hard as you used to because the world's just not the same right now.
Yeah.
So I think we're starting to see the repercussions of that. And that's why I'm also concerned about, NBA players who were coming back after, their season just ended like a month ago.
If anything, I think they're still ready.
You need that rest. Playoff basketball is a lot tougher than regular season basketball.
I agree.
It's the actual game.
The reason I say I think they would be ready is because it doesn't take that much longer to get back in shape.
Because you don't deal with as much as
And think about the travel. They didn't have to travel.
But shouldn't it also be on the mental aspect of the sport too? Because think about it, changing in constant arenas now, plus a global pandemic upon you. Well, Are you going to do another bubble to start the season off in general? Are you going to try to do a much more limited access?
That's where I come in. I have an idea. For an NBA bubble. I say we break it all to the West Coast. We have enough teams over there and enough arenas. We already run a Las Vegas Summer Basketball League. Why don't we just move all the games over to the West Coast? And I do understand what the problem is. A lot of these owners who might actually own their arenas, they lose some revenue there. I think a lot of people are going to lose money. A lot of people have lost money in this pandemic. If you're a billionaire, I do not feel bad for you losing some money.
You alright, bro.
I think we need to keep the integrity of the game and the safety of the players our number one thing going on right now. And we need another bubble. We'll see, because they haven't released the full schedule, so there will be a break in the action
I
possibly.
mean, there's already 10 less games than like a regular 82.
Yes, we need to do that,
Yeah.
because we're bringing these guys back way too soon. But you would lose billions of dollars if you just wait a month. So maybe a bubble might be in play, especially for the playoffs. I would not be surprised if we go back down to Orlando for the playoffs.
Yeah, March Madness has already come out and said that they're going to do a playoff. Well, I mean, a bubble for the NCAA.
Because it's proven that it
Rutgers
works.
deserves that much, man. They could have gone to the big dance last year, which would have been their first dance experience since 1994.
A lot of teams lost money there. A lot of players lost a chance to get their name out there, and they have fallen in the NBA draft. And don't be surprised to see some second round picks perform out there.
All right. Let me roundabout this back to the NFL.
My fault.
You're all good. You're a Jets fan, so the Jets are going to have the second most cap space, going into, this coming off season. You guys are 0-10. You guys are more than likely going to have the number one overall.
Oh,
Trevor
no.
Lawrence is going to be.
Oh,
And you got another first round draft pick also from Seattle as well. So at this point, do you think they're going to pull the plug on Sam Darnold and just draft Trevor Lawrence?
Oh, absolutely. No, yeah, this is over. The Sam Darnold experiment's over. I said it last month when I was on here that the Sam Darnold experiment is over. It's been over since the first 4 weeks of the season.
Can you do me a favor? Can you tell Colin Cowherd that?
Colin Cowherd.
This
Don't get
is
me
a
started
crime.
on Colin Cowherd. This is the man that thought that the Ravens were going to go 16-0 to start the year, and that the Pittsburgh Steelers were going to go 8-8. You might want to reverse the situation.
This is a
But that's
crime.
neither here nor there. Let me get back to my
No.
Jets here.
Uh,
Let me get back to my Jets here for a minute, okay? Look,
How can you say that
the
sentence?
Sam Darnold experiment is over. The attempt to try to make this guy a franchise quarterback, which I still believe he can be, but it
He's
cannot
from
be-
USC,
it cannot be
no.
in New York. So was Carson Palmer, and he's turned out to be.
That was Bruce Arians.
He,
In any
he
case-
skipped Mark Sanchez on purpose because that's his guy.
That's my
Mark
guy.
Sanchez did go to 2 AFC championships.
That's
Don't-
my guy.
Don't be talking.
That's my guy.
Also,
But
let me get back to it. Look, Sam Darnold is a franchise quarterback. He has the talent, he has the skill set, but it cannot be in New York. It is not the environment for him. It is a toxic environment, both in media
Who can
and
succeed
the
in New York? Who can succeed in New York?
He was
Who?
what?
Who is Eli Manning? Anyway, so
I'm talking about for the Jets.
Here's what happens. You have to let go of Sam Darnold. I think that the most they can get for him is a second round pick and a 5th round pick.
They're
And you,
lucky
and you
they
trade
did
him
too.
out to the San Francisco 49ers because Jimmy G is not the answer out there San Fran anymore. Neither is Nick Mullins or CJ Beathard. Sam Darnold back in the West Coast in his element with a QB friendly system. I think it could work perfectly over there for him. And in the meantime, I know Frank Gore said he didn't want this team to go 0-16 because he didn't want to go out like that. But I love you, Frank Gore. This year's not about you. It's about the Jets trying to get the first overall pick and draft Trevor Lawrence. Now, I would be okay in a situation where maybe, possibly, they could consider Justin Fields, but Trevor Lawrence has to be your number one.
Can I
target
ask
in
you a
this year's
question?
draft.
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, man.
Why do you hate Trevor Lawrence so much?
Why do you hate the Jets so much? Because if you're trying to
Can
deny
we just
Trevor Lawrence
pick up
here-
the record and show it to people? Why do you hate Trevor Lawrence so much? I think this is a guy. I've been watching him since he came in, and I'm like, yo, this dude is actually. I don't know any way to describe him other than how they did in Anchorman. He is the balls. This man can ball out. Why am I putting Trevor Lawrence in New York, potentially wasting his career? Why should I do that?
Because
This should be
what's
a
the
crime.
Point, what's the point of holding out in college if you're not going to get paid to do it for another year?
And that's
I'm holding out
Also, what
because
is the logic of sitting down a year in college if it's always the worst team in the NFL is always going to get the first overall?
but it's not
There's
always
no
the
point.
Jets.
What?
It's not always the Jets.
No, it was the Bengals, and then it was the Dolphins, and then it was the
I'd
Rams,
rather be
and
on
then
the
it was the
Dolphins.
Chiefs.
I'd rather be on the Dolphins.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, but here's the thing though. What's also
It does matter.
What's also stopping the Jets from being the worst team the following year?
That would be, first of all,
Different
that would be the worst thing that ever happened to football and to Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, but here's the thing. All right, well, I'm gonna stay another year in college. Battle another year with a pandemic, and not to mention Trevor Lawrence already caught COVID-19. Or I'm just gonna go to the worst team and get $50 million guaranteed my first 4 years.
You're on the Jets.
No.
It doesn't matter if you're a terrible team or not. You're still getting paid.
Right, so we're not just saying
icon and the number one.
we are just not talking about a terrible team. We are talking about the New York Jets.
who still have.
You're passing
It's
up.
literally called Jets in the
Look.
season.
Look, this
So
team
let me
this
just-
year is a failure of a team. I can accept that.
You've always been a failure of a
No,
team.
that's because Adam Gates is a terrible coach.
Okay.
That is true.
No, listen.
That is true.
All right.
Is he going to be going?
Yeah, definitely. I want Adam Gates out.
Then I'll take a chance
I
on
think
it.
that's also the reason why they're only keeping him.
Exactly. Like
I'll take a chance on it. If he's gone, maybe there's a
Did you
chance
think
this
that-
works out.
Did you think I wanted Gase? No.
Nobody wants Gase.
I wanted Gase gone last
I
year.
wouldn't think you want to be a Jets fan, but we're having this conversation. So
I'm not.
This
And
is
let
hilarious.
me say one thing I'm hopeful about. The
What?
Jets rookies this year have been above average. I can say Ashton Davis, Lamar Jackson, and Bryce Hall have been decent cornerbacks for the New York
Makai
Jets. when
Becton.
this is
they're-
Thanksgiving dinner. We don't
What?
have to go around and say what we're thankful for on the New York Jets
It is
team.
Thanksgiving week.
I'm not. It's not Thanksgiving dinner. No, we're not. There are no biscuits. There is nothing.
Like Makai Beckham, one heck of a left tackle,
Okay.
needs to stop being injury prone. And Denzel Mims, I'm sorry, Philadelphia, for how
I like
he
Denzel
City,
Mims.
but he can be a top wide receiver.
He can.
We develop him a little bit more. We just need the proper coach to come in here. It can either be Eric Bieniemy from the Chiefs, it can be Joe Brady from the Carolina Panthers, it can be Arthur Smith from the Tennessee Titans. Whoever it is, it has to be someone that
offensive
knows the
coordinator from
offensive
the
side of
Colts.
the ball. Huh?
We're the offensive coordinator from the Colts.
All these things are possible.
Whatever it is, he's learning on the Frank Reich, so he'd be good.
That's fair enough. But like the fact of the matter is, if you get the right coach under the situation and you draft Trevor Lawrence, the Jets can have
You can turn around
a
your whole
potential-
franchise.
a
Yes.
potential path to success, not in 2021, but afterwards.
And also, you got to think like Trevor Lawrence. You definitely need Trevor Lawrence down the line to turn the tides because you look what Miami's doing right now.
Yeah.
They're winning football games with their defense. Tua Tagovailoa is getting experience every week. Josh Allen's definitely becoming a more franchise quarterback. And you know the Patriots aren't going to stay down for long.
They're not.
This is an outlier. This is not going to
Look,
be.
you know what's funny? Like we're finally seeing Tom Brady out of his element when he was down in Tampa right now in the
Yeah.
tough division that is the NFC South, and that's kind of more of a detriment to the AFC East on the condition it's been for the last 20 years or so.
Yeah.
But now that
Except that 1 year when he ran a Wildcat.
That's very true. But the fact of the matter is the AFC East is slowly starting to turn itself back into a contending division. The Bills and the Dolphins are on the rise right now as playoff contenders. The Patriots are down just for the year, but they could come back. Heck, we could see Bill Belichick somehow luck himself into getting Justin Fields in this draft. It can happen. It can happen because it is Bill Belichick.
I just want to say that the guest on Guest Crime was hilarious. Like I was,
I love this.
I was cracking up. I'm like, yo,
I mean,
they're going at
it's
it.
kind of funny how like we're arguing about like, well, this team is terrible. I'm like, listen, guys, we're all fans of terrible teams here, man. Let's just all get along.
The guest,
Yeah, but they're worse.
was hilarious though.
You're a Timberwolves fan, man.
Yeah, we suck.
Also, your fan base threw snowballs at Santa Claus.
It had
Who
to
does
happen.
that?
None of us was alive.
That had to
Who
happen.
cares?
That had to
Not
happen.
saying
He
it
was
was
talking
drunk, by the way.
smack.
Let's
He's
be
talking
real.
smack.
I never had a chimney, so it wasn't no way a fat white man was sneaking in. So
Well, that's why I'm saying it's black. He just breaks through the front door.
Chris, I'm gonna say, you're wrong about one thing. Not all of us here are fans of terrible teams. My twin brother Pedro over here on the sideline is a Packers fan. And
Why didn't you guys draft a wide receiver? Why are you doing this to Aaron
why do you
Rodgers?
have Jordan Love?
Why are you doing this? Why do you guys only got one Super Bowl? How dare you? Why didn't you catch that onside? Why didn't Richard Rodgers catch that onside kick? He's the reason why Aaron Rodgers only got 2 rings right now. He's the reason why I can't make that GOAT argument. I hate you.
Why do you love Aaron Rodgers so much, bruh? You are very defensive about Aaron Rodgers and his accolades. You have to let it go.
No, I don't gotta let anything go, man. I don't gotta do anything, man. It's my show. I can't think of y'all just living it.
Oh,
Listen, I'm Alonzo here, man. You think you could do this to me?
oh my God.
Listen,
Oh my god.
Here's the thing. I just don't want him to be a Jet.
So
That's
look, we got 15 minutes left in the first hour. Let's go through the NFL Week 11 recap.
Okay.
Let's go. So you got the games up, Chris? Can you pull up the games? Please?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
Just
sorry.
we got a few comments. Hodges comment saying A-Rod's beast. Okay, shout out to Hodges.
I think I hooped with Hodges a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, all right.
Like when I sprained my ankle a month ago.
He sprained your ankle?
No, he ain't sprained my
Oh.
ankle.
I
sprained my
I
ankle.
have one game that we can recap that I really want to talk about.
Oh shoot.
Start with it.
Ravens Titans.
Start with it.
Let's start with it, man. First off,
King Henry.
all day. First off, Titans, like the story with Derrick Henry is pretty simple. He'll start off very slow in the first and second quarter,
Yeah,
and
he's
then
a
he'll start to
starter.
pick up steam
Yeah.
as the games go along. I never knew a quarterback that doesn't get better until the second half of
Have
the
you
game.
ever watched Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that episode where Dennis tries to sell his car? He was like, he's not a starter car, he's a finisher car.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Derrick Henry is. It's not a starter car, it's a finisher.
And with Derrick Henry, it is amazing to see like what this guy is. He is essentially that offense, but now there's a complementary passing attack to go with it.
Yeah.
Ryan Tannehill is, I can say, a top 15, top 12 quarterback in the NFL.
Stop.
No, come on.
Tier 3, I'll agree.
He is an effective game manager. He has good weapons in Johnny
So
Smith,
wait.
AJ Brown, and Corey Davis.
Oh.
Corey Davis, I am so
A.J.
sorry for what
Brown.
you lost over the past couple of weeks, man.
Yeah.
Your brother to an injury, your brother to illness. Hope you're well. And the Titans defense, it hasn't been that great, but they look so much better without Vic Beasley and without Jadeveon Clowney down there, man. Like
It's
they-
almost like Vic Beasley is bad.
Let me interject real quick. So, being a game manager makes you a top 15 quarterback now?
I mean, what was Alex Smith when he was with the Chiefs?
Not a top 15 quarterback.
I would
Yes, he
say-
was.
I would
Yes, he
say-
was.
No
Yes,
way.
he was.
Yes, he was.
No
Yes,
way.
he was.
So now we're awarding people for being game managers?
Yes.
Yes.
Going out there
When were we not doing that?
Look, every
What was I
quarterback
doing?
is an assistant quarterback in a certain way.
Yes.
So and Alex
Yes.
Smith fitting the role that he had to fit
He
in Kansas
fit it
City.
perfectly.
The
Exactly.
Titans are 7-3. They're doing just enough to win football.
And Ryan
Yes.
Tannehill is performing his job in a way that is good enough to be qualified as a top 15, top 12.
The
Yes.
sad thing about it is for years, what's his name? Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson for years was called a game manager. Now all of a sudden
They were wrong.
and they were wrong. And now
They were wrong.
You got to think the way the Seattle
They were always
the way the
wrong.
Seattle's constructed was they're going to give the ball to Marshawn Lynch. It didn't took until the Legion of Boom was completely disbanded and Marshawn Lynch went out the door where they started to put more of the trust of the offense into Russell Wilson. But during those early years, they pacified Russell Wilson to make him think he was a game manager.
We were arguing about the wrong quarterback just now for why I picked this game because Ryan Tannehill, we'll have that discussion another time. But the main quarterback we want to talk about here, Lamar Jackson. You guys, look. Last year Lamar Jackson just came out and surprised us all with what he was able to do with his feet and with his arm. All right, he was an effective passer to his tight ends whenever they ran a post trap. With his wide receivers, he can't really hit anyone downfield. All right, he doesn't know how to aim deep ball throws unless it's a big body receiver playing against a safety down the middle on a post. And this Ravens offense doesn't work without good tight end depth. All right, Hayden Hurst gone to the Falcons. Nick Boyle out for the year. The only good tight end on that team is Mark Andrews, and you cannot put all that pressure on him.
And you got to think, the Ravens offense is good for front running. They start off fast, and then after that, they pound you into the dirt with the running backs. But now, because of the fact that they're a lot more competitive ball games, it puts the ball more. It takes them out of the script. And Greg Roman doesn't know how to adjust. We see that all year long. That Greg Roman doesn't know how to adjust his offense to make it easier for Lamar Jackson.
And I'm sorry to keep doing this, but
No,
another
keep going.
shout out to another friend of mine, Mr. Mitch Bannon, who is a Syracuse alum and also one of the top writers I've ever had the pleasure of reading.
Mhm.
He's a Ravens fan too from Canada. Shout out to Big White North.
Oh, okay.
So with Mitch, I want to say, man, he made the argument that Lamar was a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. Man, you can't tell me after 11 weeks of watching the Ravens play that Lamar Jackson is still a top 10 quarterback. He's not even a quarterback at this point. It's more like a running back that is throwing the ball when necessary.
He's like
It's
Antoine
completely
Randall at
accurate.
this point.
Everybody waited for this downfall. They wanted it to happen so bad.
Who's everybody?
No,
I ain't
no,
want this
no,
to happen.
Everybody wants supposed to fail.
You talking about?
Yes, this is what they waited
Yeah,
for.
yeah,
They wanted it.
yeah.
They wanted it so bad.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
Media
happy.
waited for.
I'm
They
happy
wanted
that
it-
he
they
still
wanted
has a
it so-
job.
They wanted it so bad that now that he's falling off.
We
But I don't think
We
he's
all saw the
falling off.
comments on, Instagram,
Yeah.
NFL
It's all
posts.
read Facebook comments no more.
A lot of Facebook comments where it's just like, this guy's just a glorified running back. And I'm like, damn, how did he
And
know that?
not to mention the running back situation in Baltimore. It used to be a top tier back.
But they all have COVID now.
Now is near bottom of the league. Mark Andrews underperforming and is aging rapidly as a veteran running back and caught COVID. J.K.
mean
Dobbins also caught COVID and has been semi-okay as a rookie.
Justin
The only
Fields.
viable quarterback in that room, running back in that room right now is Gus Edwards. Shout out Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Two of those guys you just mentioned have COVID, though. So
That's true, but
And
even
not to
before
mention
COVID,
just
it would've
today,
been-
not to mention just for day, more people from the Baltimore Ravens are on the COVID list now on their Week 12 matchup against the undefeated
not to
Pittsburgh
mention, you're
Steelers.
missing Ronnie Staley to a season-ending injury.
Yep.
Calais Campbell is injured too.
Yeah, saw that happen.
Williams also out with an injury.
Yeah, and
Like-
Marshall Yonder retired before the season started.
what do we got?
All right, let's see. You're listening to 98.5 WJYN, the Running Back Sports Show. Hello? All right.
Wrong number.
Wrong number. Just for the record, bill collectors, we ain't got no money, so don't hit us up.
Yeah, there's no commercials here. Don't do that.
My friend Mitch is listening right now. He goes like, "We have the best yards per carry in the NFL. Stop being fake news." That's great, Mitch. I understand like the statistics say one thing, but your record is what, 7-4?
I was about to say, what are the win
They're 6 and
columns?
4. They're a game. Listen, they're just on the outside looking in the playoffs right now. They're speaking of the AFC right now. Who do you believe is the best team in the AFC right now? Do you believe it's Pittsburgh or do you believe it's Kansas City?
I say Kansas City, and I have a good reason why. Look, it's basically it's exemplified through the Raiders game that happened this week. All right, the Chiefs defense is not a formidable defense, especially in the front seven. It's supposed to be consistent of Frank Clark and Chris Jones, who are supposed to be putting pressure on the quarterback, but they're not getting home there. The secondary, it's middling, but they're still a top 5 unit when it comes to statistics.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't matter because the offense of the Chiefs is built for one thing: shootouts.
Mm-hmm.
All right. When you think about it, a quote from Andy Reid that I loved when I heard about it was that they gave us 1:15 to work with on the final drive. I have Patrick Mahomes. I think I'll be fine. And that's exactly the type of confidence that you
This
have.
new confidence in Andy. He couldn't do that in here. I mean, that's still my guy, but
Listen,
1:15. Whoa, Andy.
Listen, change of scenery does wonders for a lot of people.
Clearly.
Man.
I would want to say the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's a reason they're undefeated because, number one, like if you look at it, Chase Claypool, nobody expected him to come on the map and be like this. First off, 10 touchdowns, and he's a rookie. 4 of them were against the Eagles, but he's been playing outstanding.
Doesn't matter.
But the way Ben Roethlisberger has been coming back off injury has been outstanding. And let's not forget their defense. There's a reason they're undefeated right now. And it also, Mike Tomlin, who's arguably the front runner for Coach of the Year, do not sleep on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
But here's the thing. This is the Steelers. I'll grant them that they have a 10-0 record, but do they really deserve it? And let me explain why. This is a team. This is a team that downplays their opponents when they're not supposed to. Just look at the Dallas Cowboys game when it happened. All right, you are not supposed to let Dallas get the best of you for most of that game and then just pull off the miraculous comeback. This is that's a fraud play style that they're playing.
Who won that game?
The Steelers.
Okay, go ahead, continue.
But look, I guess when you're trying to make the argument, but what I'm trying to say is the Steelers can win in the regular season. That's great, but show me when they can do it in the postseason. The last time they were in the Super Bowl was 2008. It has been 12 years
been some
since
time.
they even 2010. Excuse me, against Pedro's Green Bay Packers. So I can admit that they're a great regular season team, but none of that matters if you can't make it in the postseason.
How about that 7-0 in the conference though? You're not gonna have a problem with that, right?
Show me the remaining schedule.
Let's pull it up. Let's do it. Pull it up. I love going to the remaining.
They have both. They obviously have Baltimore this Sunday, but Baltimore got hit Sunday Night Football. But Baltimore got hit so much with COVID. Washington, Buffalo also is a Sunday night game. The Bengals, the Colts, and they're at Cleveland to finish the season.
I'll call the one loss against the Buffalo Bills. That I can call it against it, and it will be like a pretty good game. That's gonna be that'll play out. It'll be Big Ben playing in the pocket, playing the comfortable style that he's playing in right now because he's doing pretty well as a quarterback over there. But this will be the game where the Buffalo Bills will expose the Pittsburgh Steelers as frauds.
I mean, after we just talked about Josh Allen earlier, you think he's going to pull it together against a still undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers team.
Yeah,
I
don't
mean,
see
come
that
on.
happening.
Not with that defense. Come on, no.
I mean,
I mean,
he
if
did,
you were
he
able
did
to
it
go
earlier this year against Aaron Donald and the Rams.
So, like, you know, look, and that defense is arguably better than the Pittsburgh Steelers defense.
Yeah.
And I can say that right now because, look, I can give all the credit in the world to Cameron Hayward, to T.J. Watt, and to the name. Hello, hear me?
At the end of the day, though, it's definitely the Pittsburgh Steelers for right now. I mean, for me, because they're the hottest team in the AFC. As we mentioned last week on the game on the show, that they had that first round bye, so there shouldn't be any reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers shouldn't have any issue continuing to just be on top of it, especially the way that Mike Tomlin has these guys in the right position. Like I talked about so much about coaching earlier in the game, and is what Doug Peterson does and how he doesn't put Carson Wentz in the right situation. He's understanding that Ben Roethlisberger. You know I'm ready for basketball. He's putting Ben Roethlisberger in the right position to ensure that these guys can get wins. That's part
But
of
this is still a team that downplays their opponents. They're not supposed to
They
downplay
can take a week off when they're undefeated.
They took a week off because of COVID. I think they'll be fine throughout the rest.
Listen, for a team that has a stretch of 13 games in a row because of that COVID, give them some props.
Well,
They don't get another bye week. They got 13 games in a row.
I'm still calling it that the Bills will take down this Steelers offense. Also, shout out to my Steelers fan friend and Syracuse alum, Joe Trenton.
All right, man. You got a lot of friends from Syracuse.
Right.
A lot of my Syracuse alums are listening.
All right, but here's the thing. This is a lot more to call because the NFC is a lot more of a power vacuum because every single week the best teams in the NFC constantly change. We have the Saints, who right now is number 1 seed. We have the Rams, who are number 2. Then we got Seattle, Tampa Bay, Green Bay, the Cardinals. Just
Hey! Don't forget about the 4th seed.
Anyway, who is the best team in the NFC right now?
Can I call it?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's going to be the team that we saw last night. It's the Los Angeles Rams. And let me explain that right now.
Okay.
First off, what I saw was we have a call.
Don't forget about the 4th seed. I won't stop sitting on the 4th.
98.5 WJYM Running Back Radio Show. Hey, Darren, how's it going, man?
Let me guess, Darren. You went to Syracuse?
Hey, Darren.
What's up, Darren? What you got on your mind today?
Ooh, so you agree? Call them frauds. Playing a third place schedule. Ooh.
Oh.
Darren, I can't hear you right now,
Hey,
man. I wish I could. But
Ben definitely not on the MVP race, but I would say like more on the comeback player of the year. That's where I would put Ben Roethlisberger.
now that's automatically Alex Smith's award to be given. Who comes back from an injury that severe, man? You can't tell me that Ben Roethlisberger deserves that.
No.
Okay.
Well, I kind of want to agree with that statement. I think that the Ravens could have a chance, but there's just too many injuries and too many illnesses taking place on the Ravens team that I feel like they could have enough firepower to fight back against the Steelers.
And just a lack of identity on the Ravens offense. It's like, you don't know, Greg Roman's not changing his offensive scheme. Lamar Jackson hasn't progressed into a much better passer that we hoped that we that he should have after his MVP year. And more importantly, that Steelers defense is still tough. You still got guys like Bud Degree, Cam Hayward, Mika Fitzpatrick,
TJ Watt.
TJ Watt, who's definitely having a defensive player of the year campaign as well. And not to mention Ben Roethlisberger, like he's not doing he doesn't have an MVP season, but he's doing just enough with the weapons surrounding him. Just getting the guys the ball into the playmakers' hands, them just making plays. So it might be too tall of an order for Baltimore to do in a short week.
Also, Darren, I was getting slammed for being a Jets fan and giving the reasons why Trevor Lawrence shouldn't be drafted into his organization. Do you mind backing me up for the counter argument? Can you mind backing me up for the counter argument on that? No. To Free saying that Trevor Lawrence shouldn't come out to the draft and go to the Jets.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. The Jets. Chiefs.
There's no way. Like I said earlier, the Chiefs are the top team in the AFC mainly because they are built to win shootouts. Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman. Those are all speeds. All those receivers and tight end, are speedster weapons and vertical threats down the field. You can't compete with an offense that's that quick, that's agile, and that deadly. And the defense may not be as great as it was last year, but it is still formidable and can keep offenses honest when it has to.
You got to think that Chiefs offense is built to win any kind of way. It can win shootouts, it can win come from behind, and more importantly, it could just to quote Transformers 2, bring the rain, just to start off the game, and then they now have they're confident in their running game, with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, now Le'Veon Bell, in which they could just run the clock on you as well. We saw that against Buffalo, a real bad night when it comes to weather. They ran the ball right down a really good Buffalo defense down their throat.
I'm going with the Steelers because at the end of the day, defenses win championships. You don't see teams, especially in the NFL, go back-to-back. This isn't the NBA. When the NBA season starts, you know who the top 5 teams are in every single conference. You never know what's going to happen as soon as that bracket is put together in the NFL. I'm going with the Steelers. I'm rocking with Mike Tomlin and the boys. He's got Ben Roethlisberger playing absolutely outstanding. Juju Smith-Schuster doing his thing there. Their offensive creative is good enough to get them where they need to be, especially with how fantastic their defense is.
All I'm saying is the Chiefs basically took over the place of what New England was.
And that Steelers
all this in 1 year.
Was it 2018 that they got Minkah Fitzpatrick, or was it 2019?
2018.
Last year.
Last year, yeah.
All right. So when was the last time the Chiefs played the Steelers? 2 years ago?
Yeah.
The emergence of Patrick Mahomes?
Yes.
And what happened when Mahomes did that?
6 touchdowns.
There you go.
All right. No, bringing up the past. This is the new Steelers, you know what I'm saying? Mike Tomlin about to be coach of the year. Stop bringing up old stuff.
New Steelers, man. This is okay. But hey, but before we let you go, what do you got for the NFC title game? It's a lot more tougher conference to call. There's about 5 teams that could potentially, make a Super Bowl run. So who do you got coming out of the NFC?
Right.
The Saints are the number 1 seed. Yeah, they are. Ooh. Rams,
an
ooh,
NFC West matchup in the NFC. Wow.
Man. So once again, you got the Saints fumbling the bag after all the good regular season good they're doing.
Darren's crazy. He's already drinking that holiday eggnog. There's no way it's going to be those two teams.
Yeah, it's an odd one.
Fair enough. I'll let you slide on that one then.
But listen, Kyler's great. So.
Round the table real quick. MVP pick.
Gotta go Mahomes.
I'm going to go Mahomes, yeah.
I'm gonna go Russell Wilson.
Kyler Murray.
Oh wow, we got another Kyler Murray
Murray.
supporter up in here.
That's my boy. There's no reason I wouldn't stand with him. What, 5'9"?
At 5'10", I think.
That's
5'10". We look eye to eye.
It looked like Kevin Hart out there playing.
Right. I love nobody's as shifty as he is. I think he's in a great system. Honestly, I see that team going deep. Not as deep as I would hope, but I see him possibly winning his MVP. That's my pick.
Not happening, but I got you.
I got $5 on him. I win
wait.
$350 if he wins.
And
I'll take it.
Darren, you said that you saw potentially like maybe the Saints even making a deep playoff push. Is that going to be behind Taysom Hill or with Drew Brees back in center?
That's crazy that even Drew Brees himself thinks he'll be back, and Darren yourself. You know we have 22 ribs and he broke 11 of them? Like, how he coming back in 3 weeks? I don't get that. He broke 8 on one side. That's crazy.
Listen, get that same treatment Wolverine got adamantium ribs.
Darren,
Fine.
before we get you out of here, what video game have you spent the most, like, countless hours on? Oh, that's a great pick.
Oh, what team did he pick?
Dragon
DBZ
Ball Z
Budokai
Budokai 3.
Oh, yeah.
That was a great pick.
That's a good
Budokai
choice.
Tenkaichi is.
Yo, no,
That's a good
Budokai
choice.
3 is really good.
You
Wow.
guys got me rethinking my answer because I got to really think.
That's when you had to like do the fusions and actually hit the buttons right, or else
Yeah.
the guy would be like skinny or fat,
No,
and then you.
no,
It's a classic right there.
Yeah, it's
I
a
know,
good
I
one.
know exactly how you feel. I bought an Xbox 360 just to play Left 4 Dead again. Yeah, man. But once again, man, you got the number. Thanks for calling in. Call back anytime, man. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
And we're at the top of the hour. Once again, you're listening to the Running Back Sports Show on WJYN 98.5 and on uptownradio.org. You're listening to the Running Back Sports Show, Sports for the Culture. The 1 year anniversary show, and Mark is about to pop that champagne.
You already know we going to the final
And
hour.
you know what it is, man. That final hour, so you know what we're going to be talking about.
That final hour, we're going to be talking about hoops, of course. The number to join the
Hoop streams.
conversation
There we
is
go.
215-763-9596. I promise after I pop this, I won't make any.
I know we want to jump into hoops, but there was one topic real quick I wanted to jump on. The Tua Tagovailoa is sitting against the Broncos.
It was necessary.
He's a rookie.
Yeah.
Was it necessary? Because let me say one thing. When you have a kid and you're educating him about the facts of life, do you give him the harsh love treatment, or do you baby him into thinking the world's better than it actually is?
A little bit of both, honestly.
It's a healthy balance.
And when you're down a touchdown against a mediocre Denver Broncos defense, do you give your potential franchise quarterback a chance to try to make things right?
To get that fourth quarter comeback.
Not when you're jam-packed in the AFC West playoff picture.
But you also
And AFC East.
Yeah. I'm sorry, AFC like in general.
just AFC in general. But you also got to realize that maybe Brian Flores saw what happened with Joe Burrow earlier, and him getting sacked 6 times was probably that wake-up call. Was like, listen, this is our franchise quarterback. This is what we bet. And all
Taking a
I'll
big
grant
hit at
you
the
that
goal line,
the injury scare with the hip is there, and I get that. But at the same time, you are developing a quarterback. You are developing a franchise quarterback. How are you supposed to get him ready for clutch situations if you don't put him in a clutch situation?
You sound like Washington Redskins fans. They
we
put
can't
RG3
say
out there.
Redskins.
Oh, my fault.
It's usually me, so I'm glad I was able to catch somebody.
and he's
There's
not
no
wrong.
reason RG3 played in that playoff game. It's like, he needs the experience. It's like, let's wait till next year.
On a random topic, what do you think of my brother's sweatshirt? Pedro, what sweatshirt is that again? It's Kakashi sweatshirt.
I was about to say that's nice.
Oh, nice.
I like
What's
that.
up, big
What's
y'all?
that, what's
I like
that from?
Oh, Naruto.
Naruto,
I'll
yeah.
watch that.
I don't even watch the show, but I like that one. I like that.
Yeah, I don't
Hey,
know.
man, where'd you get that?
Friend gave it to me from Hot Topic.
Oh,
From
okay.
Hot Topic.
Hot Topic. Say no
It's
more.
got to be Hot Topic.
That used to be
yeah.
my spot. I used to get all the cool shirts from there.
Yeah. Yo,
Yeah,
word.
then like
Same.
copycats began to run up. Then there's like Spencer's and all that.
Yeah, yo,
I'm
Well,
still-
good
you got,
moves,
you
man.
got that swag, but what I bought today, I think I'm very proud of. I got myself a Warren Moon legendary legacy Houston Oilers jersey today.
Is it
That's
powder,
dope.
Is it the
I
powder
was gonna say, you
blue?
got the
Powder
big
blue.
blue?
Powder blue,
It's
yes.
powder blue. I would not get any other Warren Moon jersey if it was not powder.
It's got to be the
It's
power.
gotta be.
I got me an O.J. Simpson
Like-
jersey over the summer. That was
Like I'm a hardcore jersey collector, Chris. You know that.
Yeah, I know.
Like I love that pop.
Yeah.
Like I have in my collection right now. I have 26 NFL jerseys.
Yeah, that
snap.
reminds me. I need to get on my Christmas list. I'm like, somebody needs to give me that home Tennessee Titans Steve McNair jersey.
Oh, with the dark blue on
Yeah,
the
the dark
shoulders.
blue, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Steve McNair is my favorite. One of my.
You know what I
favorite.
want?
Yo,
I
that
want
was my
that Priest
guy.
Holmes.
Ooh.
I need that Priest.
Chiefs,
Holmes.
right?
That's my boy.
Yeah.
I used to be a Chiefs fan. Then they put Larry Johnson in
You
over
didn't
him.
like, you didn't like Larry Johnson?
Really?
No.
Larry Johnson was
Wait, you
tough.
wait,
Did
you
not
used to be a
like
Chiefs fan?
Yep,
And now
Priest
you're an
Holmes
Eagles
fan. I was always an Eagles fan. Always an Eagles fan. But I really like Priest Holmes, and I was a kid, so I was like, if I like this guy, I gotta like the
I
team.
get that.
No. Funny story. Like earlier this year, we went to Big Charlie's, the Chiefs bar down in South Philly, to watch the Chiefs 49ers Super
Oh
Bowl.
yeah.
And we actually saw somebody with a Larry Johnson jersey, and you should have saw Freeman's face. It's
I
like
just
he wanted
don't-
to fight him, like right on.
Because he had no business taking that man's job. Priest Holmes was all Madden in 2004.
So
There's
was-
no.
Larry
Larry Johnson only got it because he was big.
Wait, let me ask,
No.
who was the better Chiefs running back all time? Jamal Charles or Priest Holmes?
Priest Holmes. I'm always gonna pick Priest Holmes.
Priest.
I put Larry Johnson over
They
I'm
literally had a play called the Priest release.
I have a recency bias mainly because I didn't start watching NFL until 2010. But
Okay.
I will say, but based on watching film, yeah, Priest Holmes was definitely
Priest
better.
Holmes was fantastic. Now I think he did have a better offensive line,
You know,
but I mean, Will Shields only comes around but so many times.
honestly, I think it's actually kind of funny. I actually remember that Priest Holmes and Jamal Lewis were actually teammates in Baltimore
In
back in
Baltimore,
2000.
Yeah,
That 2000, like the more you watch that, that 2000 Baltimore team, like that was a
star
legendary team.
studded.
Also, like free, I get
And
by
then
the
have-
Chiefs argument because I'm a low key Detroit Lions fan mainly because of Barry Sanders.
Well, there it is.
That is mainly like
Yeah.
I'll say this: Barry Sanders.
I just
was
can't
underrated
claim the
player of all
Chiefs.
Okay,
He's
but,
not underrated.
okay, so
Criminally.
but before we go into the NBA, and funny you brought up the Lions. Do you believe that Calvin Johnson should be first ballot?
Oh, heck
Yes.
I do.
There's no doubt in my mind.
Yo, yeah, Calvin, all that.
98.5 Running Back Sports Show, WJYN. Hello?
Hello.
You.
Yo, the way that you yell hello in the phone is hilarious. It's like when the grandparent is trying to hear that.
No,
Hello, it's so
it's
loud.
like what's the name of that guy? It's like Lionel Richie. Hello.
Hello.
Is it me you're looking for?
I have that. That's a very good album.
Oh, man.
But you were saying, what you were saying about the Detroit Lions?
No, I was like, do you believe, because obviously we know Peyton Manning and Charles Woodson are going to be first ballot. Do you believe Calvin Johnson now is on the ballot? Do you believe should be first?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Because let me say one thing: Calvin Johnson is an era-defining wide receiver.
Sure
All right,
is.
look at me. Look at any other receiver outside of Jerry Rice, and tell me which any receiver defines Calvin Johnson's era from 2008 to 2015. I think
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss, maybe.
Yeah,
Terrell Owens,
Terrell
possibly.
Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, and Calvin Johnson. That's how I describe those
And
three.
Don't forget
eras.
Larry Fitzgerald. Yeah, think about
Larry
that one.
flies under the radar, but that's because he's been in a market with so many different star wide receivers eclipsing him.
Larry Fitzgerald is the
Ain't
Tim
Bowman
Duncan.
eclipsed him?
No, not in the team, but in the NFL. in general.
Oh, but that's not true though. Larry Fitzgerald is top 3 in everything.
He's
Well,
the
right,
Tim
but,
Duncans
low
of
key,
Calvin
no one ever really
Johnson's
thinks about Larry Fitzgerald anymore.
Kobe Bryant.
Right. No, I'm talking about all time. I'm not talking about now.
Oh.
I'm talking about, look at his numbers.
Oh yeah, no, but what I'm talking about, like when you think back on era-defining players in terms of the wide receiver position, like he said, you think Randy Moss, you think Terrell Owens, you think Calvin Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald comes in maybe fourth or fifth on that list.
You can't blame him for his loyalty.
No, you can't blame him for that. You can't blame him for being a mute guy.
Right, it's like nobody was given.
But that's the circumstances we're given.
The thing about Tony Gonzalez, he wasn't really getting major love until he
exactly.
left. You know what I'm
And
saying?
you look at basketball. Tim Duncan does not get that credit, but he is 1B to Kobe's 1A.
It was the same argument.
That's how it is.
It was the same argument in the '90s with Akeem Olajuwon when he was down in Houston. He wasn't getting enough of the love and respect that he deserved. If that's because, yeah, that's true.
They built a terrible team around him for a long
and also
time.
Michael Jordan was there the whole time, except for those 2 years that he went back to back with championships. But still, Houston
Shouts
in a
out to the
relative
Blazers
term,
taking Sam Bowie.
Houston in a relative term is a low market team. So like a lot of low market team players, like for example Giannis Antetokounmpo, they don't get like that good recognition that they deserve as much as they should.
That's sad. That happens
we
when you're
mentioned
loyal.
Giannis on this.
Yeah, but would you rather be loyal or rather be a winner?
I'd rather get paid,
rather win.
regardless.
Okay, so in that case, what do you got against Trevor Lawrence?
No.
My problem with Trevor Lawrence?
No, we're done.
For what he's about, for what the Jets are about to do to his career, we can talk all day about
Okay,
that.
all right, but before we close it, I'm going to the NBA.
Let's go to the NBA.
All right, all I'm saying is this. Terrell Owens had to wait 3 years before he got into the Hall of Fame.
And
Which
he
is
never
BS.
should have had to do
And he
that.
never should have. But that being said, Calvin Johnson definitely should be getting it.
He should be first ballot.
I don't really see why he wouldn't be. Outside of the
731 catches, over 11,000 yards, 83 touchdowns.
How many years did he do that in?
8 years it took him to do that.
Two,
And he
four,
broke Jerry Rice's single season receiving record.
9 years, actually.
9 years.
Yeah.
Even so more spectacular than Longest
Yeah.
And he broke that record on broken fingers.
Yes,
All of
yes,
his
he
fingers were
did.
broken. You can even look at his hands, but
Yeah.
you know how they look? They are
They're
shattered.
not sitting right.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
And
that's
and
correct.
also,
In that year where he broke it, he had over 200 targets.
and also, he also played for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
He played for a franchise that demanded a signing bonus back when he retired. How low can you get?
That was the lowest
Yeah,
point.
like-
Meanwhile, when
I
Andrew
have
Luck
free-
retired, Jim Irsay was like, you know what? No, you keep that money.
You know,
Don't-
free-
Well, they did the same thing to Barry
Yeah, I
Sanders. They
understand why
refused to pay
you're
him.
so disgusted with the Jets in that fashion
Mhm.
because I am in that fashion and disgusted with the Detroit Lions.
I feel it.
All right.
No, you should be.
All right.
All right, so let's wrap this up.
All
I'm
right,
tired of
so
talking
we're-
about the terrible Jets. I'm tired of talking about the terrible
Are we
Lions.
switching to the hardwood?
All right,
Eagles, the
that-
terrible Eagles.
All right,
Yeah,
now
we
we're
can talk
talking
about
about the terrible Charlotte Hornets who paid Gordon Hayward $120 million.
That's
Not terrible.
First off, we lead with that.
That's not
After
terrible.
all the trade moves, and
Let-
we lead with
Let me
that.
tell you,
I'm
that's
saying
not
that
terrible.
basketball talk.
What is
Basketball talk
this?
That's not terrible. Let me tell you
Just give
why.
me that shit.
He's a professional player. Who else is a professional on that Charlotte Hornets team?
Devontae Graham.
LaMelo Ball.
You're not a professional. You played 3 years. You're not a professional. Gordon Hayward is a professional basketball player. You just drafted LaMelo Ball.
I can't.
You
believe
need
you
somebody in here on the court, not on the sidelines, on the court to be like, what are you doing? No, don't do that. So why should I listen to you? I just got $30 million. You want to make $30 million a year? Listen to me.
How funny is it that
LaMelo Ball will listen to that.
How funny is it that it's Michael Jordan out of all people that drafts a ball onto his team when his father is the one that won the
I saw it coming. I saw it coming.
One-on-one.
It was uncanny. It was amazing. I was like, this needs to happen.
If you take that drama away, he was the best available pick for them.
That's true.
Yeah, he
I mean,
was.
there's no denying.
I don't
it.
care about drama in any sport, as long as you're good.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, you know what?
I don't have to be
Edward
Antonio
Wiseman
Brown
called.
crazy.
Whatever order, whoever the first two was going, the third one's going to get picked.
For
So,
sure.
Yeah.
It was
About
cool.
Obi?
Obi Toppin?
He was cool.
Yeah.
He was cool. He was.
Hey
cool.
man, Minnesota Timberwolves fans got mad at me for a long time before we even got the first pick. I was like, hey,
Whoa.
if we lose in the lottery, we get a lower pick. I say we take Obi Toppin.
Why Minnesota? Tell me you grew
Kevin
up.
Garnett.
Okay.
Kevin
I
Garnett.
was gonna say,
And I don't
tell me
jump
you
shit.
grew up
I
like
guess
Yeah.
idolizing Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett.
racing you
And
at
then
the
Kevin
softball.
Love, Kevin Love, Ricky Rubio.
All right.
He's back, baby. Rubio!
Yo,
La
he's
Pistola!
I guess I want to ask: was it a good move by the Knicks to get Obi at 7?
It was the best move they can make.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
good.
maybe... You can maybe go for some guards there,
I mean,
but
Halliburton was still available.
Halliburton was available.
They did
A
something,
lot of
and
people passed on
They
Halliburton.
did need a guard, but
They
I'm
did.
okay with Obi Toppin.
And
They needed a point guard.
And they
Obi
cleared,
Toppin is a better Kevin Knox.
and they cleared
Way
$40
better.
million in
Easy.
cap space to try to land Hayward, and that didn't work out pretty well. They were never going to land Gordon Hayward.
Well, nobody wants to play in New York.
Yeah, no. With James Dolan as owner, no one's going to want to.
No, it's terrible management. You don't want to play there. But if you're one of those mid-tier players who can maybe finesse a deal, yeah, you go for it. Hence them having 4 power forwards last year.
All right, so I'm just gonna go by teams, and we're just gonna grade them on how their offseason's gone so far. So first was the team that had the number 1 overall pick, the Minnesota Timberwolves.
They're pretty good this year.
Hold on. Can we be real? Can we be? We are
Let's
in
hear it.
Philadelphia.
I didn't realize.
Can we talk about the
Well,
excitement?
We will talk
We will
about the
talk-
Sixers,
Is that
but we will talk about my Minnesota
is that the main
Timberwolves.
event?
No,
Is that the main event?
listen, that's the
I
main
would think
event.
like the
Here's
late
the
show.
thing.
would be the
Because
main
if we
event.
talk, that's the thing. If we talk about the Sixers, that's all we're gonna get to.
Yes, this is true.
Do we
That's why
care?
we spent
Do
3
we-
years
do
on
we-
Carson.
We spent a half hour on Carson Wentz.
Do
We
you
know
re-
what we're gonna
Do
get.
we really care what the Atlanta Hawks did?
Yes,
Do we really-
I do.
do we
I'm an
really-
Atlanta Hawks
Do we
fan as
really
well.
care about what the Sacramento Kings did? Do we really
Well, nobody
care
likes Sacramento.
about what?
I mean,
like,
Mark, do you care about what the Lakers did?
no, no. I don't
Lakers
care.
made some great moves. They
Because
just
the reason I don't care is because I finally have a head coach, a team that I'm very excited and happy to see on December 22nd.
I'm happy
I
to see
finally
this
have
as well.
a general manager who's not a punk, who knows how to draft,
You are
who
right.
knows how to do something.
You are right.
This is one of the first times that I am very excited to talk about Philadelphia.
Okay.
You should be very excited,
y'all wanna
and you
talk
will
about
wait your
the
turn.
Minnesota bum.
You will wait your turn.
are going to be
I believe.
It is 6:20. When we get to 6:40, we'll close.
We
that
will
lock.
talk about the Sixers. We will talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves right now.
Grade.
They're
How
trash.
give them a grade.
Watch
I don't like Edwards.
this. So what research do you have? Because
Here's
Edwards
the thing.
served the draft.
To a lot of people, this is true. But when you come out and say, yeah, I'd really rather play football. Yeah, I don't really watch film.
Yeah.
I started thinking about Andrew Wiggins. I'm like,
You know
oh, God,
why?
this man didn't really
Yeah,
care about
because
he didn't want to play in Minnesota.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't care about that. When you say stuff like that, I'm like, oh, you really don't want to be here. Cool. A lot of people don't want to be here. But we're here regardless. I can't draft you number 1 if you don't want to be here. Because I don't trust you to give everything you got. Which what he has to give
that's terrible.
is a lot.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah,
a
a whole
lot.
lot.
So we're going to take that risk. And we did. And I'm sitting here looking at the roster. I'm like, things are shaping up. We go get Ricky Rubio. We have an actual point guard. We were not. We
Still
might
got
still.
D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, he's not a point guard to me.
He's not, but there's no way he starts it. There's no way that Ricky Rubio starts for
You
your
got
team,
the Piscataway.
This is a This is a possibility.
though. Nah,
This is a possibility.
there's no way.
Not right. He might not lead the season. He might start at some point. D'Angelo Russell at the 1. Yeah, we're limiting how well we're going to move the ball. We can put him at the 2, which, correct me if I'm wrong, he is a combo guard.
He is a combo guard.
He is a combo guard.
You don't
So
want
who
him
do we
guarding-
have?
You don't want him guarding twos.
Who the heck is guarding anybody on the Timberwolves?
That's what I'm saying. Why are we
We're not-
talking about it?
Bruh, because Roses has made it obvious. He was like, all right, so there's like 8 good defenders in the league.
That's true.
So we're going to double the offense, half the defense. Like we didn't have defense. Half the defense.
That's true.
Fine. D'Angelo Russell is our 2 guard. Ricky Rubio, who's a good team defender. He is. You're going to say team defender isn't a thing, aren't
No,
you?
I'm cool with team.
Okay,
defense. I'm
cool.
just like, when is like Ricky Rubio and defense in the same sentence?
He is a good team defender.
Sound like
Is he a
that,
good
huh?
one-on-one defender?
No, he
No.
gets- he gets
What
his shot.
Spanish player really is.
That's why I'm saying, why is this even happening?
This is happening because, one, the fans demanded it. Me, myself, and the rest of the Timberwolves.
Timber Nation.
Community.
What are y'all even called?
We are the Timber Pups.
That's even worse than I could
That's
imagine.
terrible.
Yes,
Yeah.
because
You
this
support
team
that?
sucks. We suck.
Timber Pup.
We suck.
Anyway,
Oh,
moving on. So
Number 2,
the Golden State Warriors.
great pick. Best player in the draft, in my opinion. James Wiseman was easily the best player
the
in the
top
draft.
3 is what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
No, I'm just talking overall their offseason.
Their offseason, great pick bringing in Kelly Oubre Jr., especially after you lose Klay Thompson. That really sucks because I hate everybody on the Warriors, but I don't hate Klay Thompson. That was a great pick bringing in Kelly Oubre Jr. 18.6, I think, a game.
Career year.
He's
gotta bring him
obviously,
to Phoenix, yeah.
you're a Phoenix Suns fan. You
Yeah.
understand. I watched them
No,
in the
love
bubble.
these
I was missing that. Yeah, we like bad teams. It makes it interesting when they're finally good.
You like bad teams, but you
That's-
hate the Jets.
see, that's-
how it
I
is.
used to be a Jets fan. You didn't know that. You didn't know that. I used to be a Jets
How
fan.
many team fans are you?
I used to be a Jets fan.
I feel
Darryl Reeves,
there's
loved it.
there's like a trending,
Sanchez, loved it.
I'll give you
There's
that.
there's like a theme that's trending, and it's starting to frustrate me with people.
What, bad teams?
Not only bad teams, but this trending team that has been frustrating me lately is patience. How is everyone just so patient when it comes to certain players?
Because I'm an
certain
Eagles
teams?
fan.
Like, no, the Eagles fans
What's
are
on
the
your
most
hat right
patient
now?
people ever.
And that's why it never works out. This is a team that's not that. This is a team that doesn't
Lakers
win.
fans are the most impatient people.
Who?
Lakers.
Nah, Lakers.
Ah.
Lakers fans are different. Like they keep it real, but they're always Lakers are like borderline close to Dallas, but we just don't hate them as much. Like
I
Lakers
hate
fans
'em,
aren't
yeah,
like
don't
annoying
include
like
me.
Dallas because they have 17 championships to say what they say,
Now, you know who has an
but they're not like annoying like Dallas
No,
fans.
an enormous amount of patience I can call for are Brooklyn Nets fans because they were supposed to have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant on the court, and Durant was out a whole year with a knee injury. And now that
Well,
he's
you
come back,
knew that
there's
was going to
expectations.
happen.
Even still, it's not like they're.
I mean,
You knew good
That's
things
still
were coming.
incredible.
As an Eagles
That's
fan,
still
we don't know if good things are
but that's
coming.
still incredible patience to have with a New
No.
York team. A New York team.
No, you know Kevin Durant is coming.
it's
No.
it's different
No,
because Brooklyn
it's different.
It's younger, it's more progressive.
I'm a Timberwolves
it's
fan.
more,
I don't know if
metropolitan.
anything good will ever happen. Not next year, not 5 years, not even 10 years. I never know.
That's
All right, moving on.
They could bomb the Target Center, and I'd be like, this might be the best thing ever.
Oh my God.
Atlanta's had a really busy offseason, getting a lot more defense.
Yeah, yes, we had a lot of
Put a
veteran
flyer for
presence.
Bodan Bogdanovic. I
It's
still
coming
haven't-
down to that.
Yeah, I still haven't heard anything about the Kings matching it. So, what do you think about the moves that the Atlanta Hawks been doing?
We've made every right move we could. Rajon Rondo, I'm a Hawks fan as well. I got family down in the A. That's the only, I can defend that. Timberwolves, I just like them. Here's the thing. I always knew Rondo would be an Atlanta Hawk. Like, I knew like 8 years ago. I was like, this dude would be a great Hawks point guard. And then here we go, and it happens. He's a two-time NBA champion now, and we need him next to Trae Young to mentor him. He's not going to be able to
That's
teach
the
him
only
defense.
reason I like that.
That's the only reason we made any of these
But
moves.
coming off of 26 points per game, which is something Rondo has never done, does he really need mentoring?
No,
Rondo?
Trae Young, I think, averaged more.
He might have. I was
I
being
think
nice saying
he was a
26.
30 and 10
Then
guy.
you need a
It
compliment.
was nice.
No, then you need a complimentary player.
You do.
Yeah,
you need somebody who will
And
show
that's
you.
why Rondo doesn't work, in my opinion.
No.
I like him
Here's the
for
thing,
the
but
veteran leadership.
From what I know about basketball, isn't Rajon Rondo more of a weapon when he's in the playoffs instead of when he's in the regular season?
Yes, and we're
Rajon
trying
Rondo
to
is
make
a
the
real
playoffs.
He's a creator. He's a playmaker. He gets guys ready in the
Trae
right
Young
spot.
isn't a playmaker?
I'm not saying he's
Here's
not.
the thing,
We're talking about Rondo.
Atlanta's surrounding themselves with shooters. So Rondo running with that second unit, with these young Atlanta shooters, it's something to watch.
Yes, this will all work out. If we get Gordon we wanted Gordon Hayward. Now it's Bogdanovich. We just needed somebody there pretty much to mentor Cam Reddish and Kevin Horter.
Mhm.
If we can make that happen, we're in good shape.
Even
We
who's
just
gonna get
drafted a backup
Obi
center.
Anyeka?
Yes.
Is that how you say his name or something?
He
like that?
reminds me a lot of Bam Adebayo, who is
Yeah, I
quickly
agree.
becoming one of my favorite players.
Bam just got paid. by the way.
Bam deserved every cent of it, maybe more. Only one All-Star appearance,
Yeah.
so that's all you can get. But here's the thing. We draft a guy who says, I want to play like him. I'm so happy. We also have Clint Capella, who
I like Clint Capella.
I like Clint Capella as well. That can be his mentor. We have the mentors and the youth there. We also have a coach who is very well connected to the community and cares a lot about defense, which you couldn't tell by watching last year. But what can you do with
You're
Trae Young?
I mean,
But
when you got Ice Trae,
There's the thing, you're bringing in a lot of defense. So
And
Bringing
also,
in a
this
lot
is
of
an Atlanta team, and I can't remember the last time an Atlanta team has been able to actually hold any monocle of success in the last 10 years or so. And
oh no, they had that one team where they won like 60 games. And they
That's
got
one of
swept
the
in
best
first
years
round.
of my
the-
life.
And they got
the-
swept.
the 28
And we got swept by not even LeBron James, it was Kyrie Irving who swept
They
us.
got-
And J.R. Smith who swept us.
It was-
But we were all, and that was a great year because all five of our starting, all the players in our starting lineup were named Player of the Month one month. Fantastic year for us. 4 of those 5 guys made the All-Star team. It was fantastic. And we're headed back. AKA, we're bringing back team basketball. Trae Young will continue to average his 30 and 10 and play no defense while everybody else gets better at defense. This is going to be a fantastic team in years.
I mean, that's how Boston made it to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yes. So we all watched. Watch the South. The South got something to say.
Okay.
In the words of Andre 3000.
Ooh, okay, man.
The South got something to say.
All right.
Hold on, random, real quick. Speaking of the South, did y'all watch that Gucci Mane and Jeezy?
Oh, of course I watched that. I was ready for the guns to come out.
Yo, it was so crazy. They had goons out there. I thought that was really
they were all in the hallway.
Only in Atlanta.
Fantastic. Only in Atlanta.
Can someone tell a non-informed viewer what's going on?
Stand by.
It was a lot of gang activity involving microphones and some thrones, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
And dissing dead people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which I'm always for it because wow, that's hateful.
That's so mean.
Was it Tupac or Biggie? They were
No. It was like dissing dead people that they themselves
like close homies.
Yeah. It was
like almost family.
Let's just say that the ratings for that versus surpassed
Sky high.
The American Music
Sky. The only thing that's gonna pass those ratings is Kanye versus Drake.
I'm sad to say I'm not connected into this world of rap as much as I.
It's okay. It's not a friendly place.
I'm not a mumble rap fan.
It's okay. No, these aren't mumble rappers. These are the trap rappers.
They're old school. Well, Gucci's like an old school original mumble rapper.
I mean, I know what he's saying though.
You gotta be on some stuff.
There was no auto tune on his stuff. That's why I know what he's saying.
No auto tune, but he be rapping in cursive sometimes.
I love it.
You gotta like
beautiful penmanship.
You gotta be on a different level.
It's fantastic. You gotta drink enough lean to understand what's going on.
I didn't want to say that, but yeah.
What other NBA team? I got something for everybody.
Obviously, we got to talk about both LA teams.
Lakers have added the 6th man of the year and the runner-up 6th man of the year to their bench that I wasn't entirely impressed with. But you have Anthony Davis and LeBron James and playoff Rondo and the new Scalabrini out there. So I'm going to like that lineup. I don't see a way in which they don't represent the West.
Was losing Dwight Howard a big hit?
Yeah.
Dwight Howard wasn't as good as people want to make him seem.
He only played in 2 series also, but it's like what you lost to Dwight Howard, which you kind of gained in Marc Gasol.
No way.
Did you?
No way. Chris, are you kidding? Marc Gasol can't even move, bro.
Just a rim, just somebody just stand at the rim. Listen, you ever saw that?
No. Marc Gasol is not just a rim defender. He is a team defender. You can't be a team defender when you can't move left and right.
All right, listen. You ever
But
seen
another Spanish guy.
Yes, that's what they are.
First of all, he couldn't move to begin with. Have you ever seen that movie Rebound?
No, he used to move. He's not Big Mac. Stop.
I'm talking about Wes.
Oh,
I was like,
Marc Gasol could switch. Stop it.
No. Listen, that's what he is now. Just put
that. You're right. That is what he is now.
But listen, all you got to do is like, listen.
So what do you got against Spanish guys?
No, I love Spanish. Jose Calderone. That's my boy. La Pistola. Rudy Fernandez. These are my guys. I love all these guys. But Marc Gasol does not have it right now. And I wish Lakers fans weren't so hype about it.
He's there to guard Jokic. And while
he can't do it.
Going back to your Spanish comment, I love my Spanish people, especially my Spanish women.
I do think Montrezl Harrell. I've always been a fan of him ever since he was in Louisville. Always been a fan of him. The Clippers should feel burnt by it, but I mean, hey, Raptors feel burnt by you guys getting Kawhi. So what goes around comes around. I think the Lakers will represent the West in the finals. No doubt in my mind, even with LeBron saying, yeah, I'm not going to play those first couple games. I'm still tired.
So he said he's going to cherry pick.
Is Miami coming back?
No.
All right.
Why not?
Because we're going to talk about it in the last 20 minutes.
Oh, okay. I see how it is.
All right.
What's the next team?
The Clippers, you know.
Oh, the Clippers?
So, like, they lost Andrew Shaman. They obviously lost Montrezl Harrell, but they gained Serge Ibaka and Luke Kennard. So
Luke Kennard's career has been wasted on the Pistons. I think he'll be fine on the Clippers. I feel like it's still a step backwards for the Clippers, losing their head coach. You know, you can blame a lot of stuff you want on Doc Rivers, and I really think you could just blame the people that he has in the locker room.
Let me ask y'all this. This is the problem that I have with the Clippers. Do they have a point guard?
What are the Clippers? Do who
If they
have?
address their point guard issue,
No,
then why are we talking about them?
because of the Clippers.
They're
And
not
they have
talking
Kawhi Leonard, who's a top 5 player.
He's not a
My
top-
number 3 player.
First off,
He's not in the top 5?
Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Kawhi Leonard.
Come on, bro. Stop drinking that Kool-Aid, bro.
Kawhi Leonard is not in the top 5. Is he in the top 10? Is he in the top 10?
Of course, he's top 10.
Where is he?
He might be like 7, maybe.
Oh!
You've been
So we're just lying.
I knew.
I've been drinking the same stuff as you, my
I
man.
knew this was going to happen because he said he was a Minnesota fan, number one.
Wow.
Then he flew across the country to Atlanta, said he was an
Down
Atlanta
south.
fan. Then he said,
Down
why
south.
is top 5? Yo.
Kawhi is not a top 5 player. Is that what
No,
you tell me?
he's not.
So you have such a recency bias that you don't remember.
Recency bias.
Let me hear it. What do you have to say in your defense? Let me hear
No,
the fallacies.
you
Let me hear
always-
the lies. Let me hear the deceit.
So is he better than LeBron James?
No! LeBron is the best player in the
Is he
league.
better than Giannis?
Giannis is number 2.
Is he better than Kevin Durant?
Yes. Yes.
Hey, yo, Chris, don't ever
Yes.
back. He said
He has 2 good Achilles.
he said Kawhi better than Kevin Durant.
Yes.
Yo,
Took Toronto to an NBA
I'm not
championship.
talking basketball. No more.
Took Toronto to an NBA
Yo, I'm not
championship.
talking no more basketball for you.
Kevin Durant went over there to the Golden State Warriors,
I'm not-
tore his Achilles. Who is the same player after a torn Achilles? Not even Kobe Bryant, the hardest working man we've ever seen in basketball, bar none.
Kobe
Rest in
Bryant
peace,
wasn't 30 when he tore his Achilles.
Bruh,
Kevin Durant's a skinny man.
what does that have to do with anything? Have you
Yo,
ever hurt your Achilles? Do you know what that feels like?
Kawhi, he's better than Anthony Davis.
Yes. Barely. Barely. Barely.
What
Barely.
Kool-Aid are you
If you want to put Anthony Davis ahead of him, I'll allow it. I'll say I'm
Kool-Aid
wrong.
Are you sipping,
If
bro?
you want to put Anthony Davis ahead of him, I will.
Bro,
I will
listen.
say you're right. I won't even care.
So your man,
I won't even care.
Your man blew a 3-1 lead, and Jamal Murray outscored him and Paul George in a Game 7. What
And
type
I'm
of
still
competitor
putting
is
Kevin
that?
Durant
What type of-
behind him.
You're right. Yo.
Yes, I am.
Yo.
Yes, I am.
Oh my.
I am doing it.
Oh.
I am doing it. I am doing it.
I'm not talking.
I'm dealing with you.
basketball
I'm dealing with you the same way I'm dealing with people who be like Steph Curry is top 5. I'm like, no. Where is his Finals MVP at?
Steph Curry's better than Kawhi. And Steph Curry's not even in my top 5. He's not even in my top 5.
You're putting Steph Curry ahead of.
Yes, I am.
And that's why what is the next team?
A generation.
What is the next team?
Changing.
What is the
talent.
next team?
Steph Curry is
You
the
probably love Reggie
What?
Miller too. What is the next team? What is the next
You
team?
want to know who's really my
What is
5?
the next team?
You know who my 5
You love Deadlift Shrimp too. What is the next team?
All right.
James Harden.
All right, Bob. What is your top 5?
Petrovic is
What
one
is
of your
top
favorite
five?
players.
All right,
So-
let him talk. Let him talk. What's your top
LeBron
5?
James.
Okay.
Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm only putting
Okay.
Giannis right now until I see what KD got. Typically, KD is always my 2.
And I feel you.
But Gilbert Arenas has been on record saying this, and John Wall has been on record saying this. KD.
Gilbert
is
Arenas
back.
brought guns to the. No.
We're talking about basketball, not what they do in their free time.
Oh my goodness.
KD is my number 3. Anthony Davis is my number 4. And my number 5 is James Harden.
James Harden.
I'm not even going to talk about the James
Really?
Harden thing.
Because I remember when we were talking about earlier when I brought up James Harden, when we were talking about the trade, the possible trade to the
And I was waiting very patiently.
All right,
So if y'all want to talk James Harden, I'm ready.
go for it.
I'm ready. So
What is there to say about James
Let's
Harden?
talk about how the fact that
He's an
wants to go to
offensive
Brooklyn,
dynamo.
and Brooklyn doesn't want him because there's nothing that they can offer.
No,
him back.
no, Brooklyn does want him.
Really?
They do
Brooklyn
want him.
does want
First
him.
off, this is preposterous that teams are talking about.
That you're a
rather
James
keep
Harden fan?
A bum Ben Simmons. Now I'm mad. They keep a bum Ben Simmons who gives you 16.9 points a game, and you're turning down over 35 points a game. Are you kidding me? Like Ben Simmons is like
I'll
not going
trade
to
Ben
get.
Simmons for.
All right, so
James
now
Harden.
I might be able to chat basketball with you on the
I don't
side.
think I can chat
but now on
with
the
you. You
show.
like James
Now on
Harden.
the show.
If you like James Harden, then I can't do
Wait,
this.
but you said that you were talking about how like Brooklyn did want Harden, but there's nothing they can offer. So like,
No, actually, if I'm Houston, the best thing that I would accept if it's between Philadelphia and Houston, Brooklyn. I mentioned this last week. I'm taking anything that Brooklyn sends me because they have better weapons going into the future. You got Spencer Dinwiddie, you got Karis LeVert, you got Jared Allen, and I guess now everyone just throws out
Joe Harris.
Joe Harris too. Yeah, he just got paid. Now I guess everybody is throwing out like first round picks up to like 20, 30. So like if I'm Houston, I accept anything that Brooklyn gets me. Now, if we're talking fit, if it comes down to it, I don't want to get anyone confused. I like Ben Simmons. But if we're getting James Harden back in return, see ya. Have a good flight. I will help you pack. Because, and this goes back to my theme earlier, where I'm like, oh my God, everyone's so patient. So patient. Ben Simmons might do this. Ben Simmons might do that. Ben Simmons does this. James Harden doesn't do that. Well, I know James Harden will get me a bucket in the fourth quarter when we need it, because that's what the Sixers need. I know James Harden will give me over 30 points a game because that's what the Sixers need. I know Joel Embiid isn't going to play a lot of games, but James Harden plays at least 75 games. Okay, he's durable. And not to mention, he's a top 5 assist guy in the league. What more are we talking about?
I'll do a James Harden trade. I'll do it. Or I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't care. Either or, I'm happy with what I have. If I have Embiid or if I have Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons, I'm cool with that. If I can trade one of them and get James Harden, I'm cool with that. I'm cool either way.
Well, listen, in a perfect world, Tobias Harris would be gone. But
that's an amazing world.
Because it's not realistic.
That's an amazing world where there's perfect free national health care, but we don't live in that world.
Right. Listen, my perfect world is eliminating over $50,000 for everyone on student debt, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, I want to live in that world
This
too.
microphone's made out of peanut butter.
Man, I want to live in a world where the Timberwolves drafted Steph Curry, but we took Rubio and Johnny Flynn. So that's the world we live in.
Listen, man,
Shouts out to Rubio.
Listen, Johnny Flynn was All-American, man.
Oh, don't get me
That was
started.
all.
You only say that to get me mad.
Hold on.
You my goodness.
I got it.
You only said that to get me mad.
Anyway, you're listening to WJY 98.5. It is 6:40 now, so as promised, we're going to be talking about Philadelphia 76ers.
I feel like we were.
Hold on, real quick. Before we move on to the Sixers, I'm not going to respond after this. Okay, I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Okay.
I swear I will, because I want to talk about the Sixers.
Let's hear it. Why am I?
You asked me my top 5. I just want to hear yours. I promise I'm not going to say anything.
I have mine written down
because we can talk about it after the show. I just want to hear it.
I have mine written down on my phone.
It's going to be hard, but I'm not going to say
Are
a
you
word.
still talking?
I know, right?
Get it out now.
You want me to cut your mic?
No.
Here we go. And you can ask me why I picked these guys.
I'm not saying a word.
No, you can ask me. I have, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Okay. So I have LeBron James, number 1. Giannis, number 2, which I'm not a fan of him, but back-to-back MVPs, winning Defensive Player of the Year, winning 60-plus games and stuff like that. I got to give you credit.
I can really tell Mark want to say something right now.
I'm not a big fan of Giannis, but I do respect this game because how the heck can you stop him? Obviously, other than the wall.
The Eastern Conference stops. The Eastern Conference Finals.
I know. I'm sorry.
I had to.
I picked the Heat to win that. I won like $600 off that.
Anyway, continue.
Kawhi, AD, KD. And I want to put KD in front of those last 2 guys, but nobody's the same after a torn Achilles.
All right.
You can mess your knee
All
up.
right, and before we go to the Sixers, the Bucks off season.
Oh, the Bucks off season? Oh man, this is my heart races when I think about things not working out for them because I like small market teams, no doubt. But I don't know if they can keep Giannis. Bogdanovich would have been a good way for them to keep him because you brought in Drew Holiday, which is he's criminally underrated. Bogdanovich is underrated as well. Not as much as Drew, but that would have been a crazy starting 5. And any starting 5 that doesn't include Eric Bledsoe, I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, okay. But now we're going to dive into the Sixers. The Sixers have been incredibly busy this offseason. I actually got a FaceTime call with one of my friends about the Al Horford trade. Josh Richardson's now gone. Daryl Morley, he's only been here for like 3 weeks, and he's added, more shooters than what we had all
yeah, it's almost like he's a competent GM. Wow.
Anyway, so let's talk about it, man.
I hope Ellen Brand has his Mead notebook out and he's taking notes because this is what you do as a GM. You don't offer 35-year-old or however old Al Horford is, $120 million. You don't do that to play backup
How
center.
about this? Let's not live in the past. Let's talk with what we have. That contract is long gone.
It's not long gone. It's gone.
It's
though.
gone.
It's Oklahoma. It's in Oklahoma.
It ain't our problem.
It's in Oklahoma.
Right
and
or
this
wrong?
is why I love teams that are like, yeah, we're going to tank. This is why you need teams like this who are just like, all right, let's balance the league economy as far as players are concerned.
I kind of feel bad for Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, though.
I don't. I think he's
He's
going to
gonna
be a
average like
tremendous player.
38.
You know I love Shy.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be fine. He's going to do his thing. I'm more worried about
It's going to be those Bradley Beal 30 to 35 points.
Exactly. That's why I'm more worried about how well he's moving the ball. And I think he's going to do fine
He's
there.
going to leave when his contract's up. It's plain and simple.
I don't see that happening.
Nobody ever rejects that first contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
When you're
great.
poor,
That
when you
is
grow up
great.
poor,
Yeah, that is
that's
like
how it
great.
is.
And the teams can match too.
But with the Sixers, I feel like, hey, you were never going to move that Tobias Harris deal. You ask any GMs around the league, you check surveys, and they're like, yeah, that's the worst deal there. It is.
No,
You check Reddit posts.
The Al Horford deal is the worst deal there.
Because it was less money, more people bring up Tobias Harris.
Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
First off, he's 34
They're both
years
terrible
old and can't
deals.
do anything. I'd rather settle with a 26, 27-year-old and see what
I don't want
To be
to.
fair, though, Oklahoma does have, 21 first-round picks over the next
Yeah, they have a lot.
They have a lot.
They have a
So,
lot.
like,
Here's the thing. I don't want to pay anybody who's not an all-star superstar money. Let me just say that again. I don't want to pay anybody who's not an all-star superstar money. That's what we're doing with Tobias Harris. He's making more money than Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. These are guys who are all-stars. And depending on who you ask, both of them are superstars. Some people actually will just say Joel Embiid. Cool. Tobias Harris is making more.
All right.
And he got a Defensive Player of the Year vote. They don't just hand those out unless you're Andre Drummond for some reason. But still, yeah, somebody did that. Tobias Harris has no business making that much money. Elton Brand has no business being the GM of the Sixers, and he isn't anymore. We live in a present day where it's Daryl Morey calling the shots, bringing in Dwight Howard to be our backup center, which we needed. Because I'm not paying our backup center $27 million.
You'll get your time. Just let him.
Just let me talk. We gonna get to that point.
My vibe, talking about old Brett Brown stuff. We up now.
We are getting to this
This is
point.
what I've been
Doc
saying.
Rivers coming in, who I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm not the biggest fan of, honestly.
Mark is exactly what I want Jets fans to be next year. We try to
Just forget about last year or the last
It's in the
12
past.
years.
Who wants to remember the butt fumble?
Yo.
Or Adam Gase's buggy eyes?
What-
I think.
Yo, what did Rafiki say in the Lion King?
Remember the Chad Pennington and Vinny Testaverde days?
Oh, bro, I think of Chad Pennington every day.
Nah,
Remember
hold
the
on.
Curtis Martin days?
No, we all old enough to remember this.
Legend.
What did Rafiki say in the Lion King?
Yeah.
He said, your past, yeah, it may hurt, but you can learn from it or run from it.
I
Or you
hope we
learn
learned
and
from
move
this.
on. That's what I'm talking
I
about.
hope we learned from
I
this.
thought you were about to say you
Yeah,
learned
then he
and
went on and
learned.
killed his
But did we really learn from this? Because Elton Brand still is involved with the organization. And I'm kind of nervous about that. Hopefully we're just grooming him for a job somewhere else.
Elton Brand is the richest intern in America.
Yeah.
He's fine.
He also stole $72 million from the Sixers when he was a player. When are we going to learn our lesson?
Bro, it's okay. He's the richest intern in America.
Cool.
Let Daryl-
I don't want him anywhere near.
He ain't.
From what I've heard a lot of jokes where people are just like, so what do you think Elton Brand was doing during draft night? And people were like, no, he had one of those Fisher Price phones. And it's just like, hey, the Kings are calling. Let's talk about Bradley Beal. Elton's like, oh yeah, I'll answer. Brad, you have no business having him in the room with phones.
Did you just call him the little brother that like, you hand the controller in?
And it's not plugged in. Yes! Yes! Because he's not helping the cause. I'm trying to get through this Halo campaign. You're terrible. No. We're trying to be Call of Duty on veteran.
That's another game. When I first bought my Xbox, I spent hours on that playing Halo.
Exactly. And it's fun. And Elton Brand makes it not fun.
I don't know if you guys ever had a PS4 or PS2 growing up.
All of them.
Like you played a game with Jack and Daxter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, that's the game I meant to say instead of Spider-Man to the PS4. Jack and Daxter, Jack 3 especially was my favorite.
I was more of a
Ratchet and Clank?
Ratchet and Clank fan.
I
Yeah.
couldn't get into Ratchet.
So
and
many
Clank.
guns,
Yeah.
bruh.
I mean, yeah, but like with Ratchet and Clank, I guess it was just a little too cartoony for me. Jack and Daxter had
Yeah, they started getting more
semi-realistic
adult with it.
expectations when
Yeah.
came to
I honestly, technically, Overwatch, I spent hours on.
You play the same character.
That's because y'all parents ain't buy y'all games rated M. I was playing San Andreas.
I played a bunch of
We
that
all play
too.
San Andreas.
We all played it.
Oh my god, the cool guy. Oh my god, he must have.
Halo,
Yeah.
I like Gears of War. It's like, okay. I have a
And it's like The
PS.
Office. He was like, you want to tell the difference between
I'm
these two
surprised no one
pictures?
here says Mario Kart.
I was always
Mario Kart is a war of attrition.
I was always a PlayStation guy. So
Yeah. Mario Kart is how you lose friends.
no, Mario Kart
Uno
is
is
lit.
how you lose friends.
Uno, Monopoly,
Yeah.
Mario
Facts.
Kart, we have
Facts.
all just disowned
Are
our
you gonna
cousins.
forgive Javier?
Oh, no. No, I'm not.
What's
He
this
had
about?
no business doing that to me.
We got to know the backstory real quick.
He had no business
You got
doing
10
that.
minutes.
And
You don't-
it's a Uno backstory.
You don't press. You don't play a play two, a draw for, a play two, and act like I'm gonna be okay with it. No, you just banished me to the shadow realm.
Wait, and
we
one
gotta
turn,
fight.
in one turn or
Yes, one turn.
How y'all play Uno?
We play. I can't say the word, but we
Please
play it
don't.
the way.
We don't.
98.5 WJYM Running Back Sports Show. Hello?
I hear something in the background.
Turn your radio down if you're
Hello?
listening.
Yeah. Hey, Jordan, what's going on? I agree.
I think you're right on that. I think a James Harden trade isn't made till maybe the trade deadline or next off season. And depending on what happens with the Sixers, we might see James Harden in a different number because he can't wear 13 here, but we might see him as a Sixer.
I don't think he'd want to wear anything other than 13, though. I mean, jersey numbers are pretty valuable among players.
Sure. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. He had to leave Golden State. He had to leave Golden State to be the man. Yeah. Yeah. But was Kevin Durant the one who said he wanted him there, though? No. Was Kevin Durant the one who said he wanted James Harden there? Was he the one who leaked the news? No. First of all, let's not say that, two players were working out in LA. Everybody works out in LA. There's nowhere else to work out.
Nah,
Yeah,
here's
here's
the real report. So what
Let me hear
happened
it.
was James Harden apparently found out that the owner of the Rockets was a heavy Trump supporter. He wasn't for it. So him and KD were actually working out in the offseason. So when it came to talking trades, he said he was open to rejoining Kevin Durant, and Brooklyn would possibly be one of his destinations. So no, KD never said it, from the reports. It was more of James Harden saying, I'm open to it because I've been working out with KD over the summer. when you say credit, you got to be more specific. Like, are you talking about the final 2 minutes? Who's taking the shot?
You're saying how we look at those being Steph Curry rings instead of Kevin Durant rings?
I mean, both of them do. I mean, when we look at the Lakers and they won their championship, did we give more?
I feel like that's a different situation.
Y'all know it. Y'all know it. Y'all know it. So here's the thing, right? So this is why I said that if James Harden comes to Philadelphia, it would be a better fit. Even though I said if I'm Houston, I'm accepting anything Brooklyn throws at me. But coming to versus going to Philadelphia and going to Brooklyn, if you're coming to Philadelphia, you're legit like a 1A majority of the nights. Like, majority of the nights. The reason I say that is because, it depends on game plan. Because you could say, hey, oh my gosh, they got PJ Tucker guarding Joel Embiid tonight. You know who's getting the ball all single night. But then it's like, oh man, we're playing Minnesota. We got Ricky Rubio guarding James Harden. Oh, I'm about to kill him. So, James Harden is going to be the main person. But at the end of the day, with Brooklyn, you got Kyrie, of course, and you got Kevin Durant, and you got James Harden. In situations like that, I don't know if that will work because one thing that all three of those guys are all tremendously very good at is scoring the ball. Like, they are all very good scorers. Now, look, and they do need their touches, but when it comes down to championships, and this is one of the good things about championship teams, is that everyone knows their role when it comes down to a championship. The thing for me, I just don't think it works because it's they're just too offensive.
It's not gonna work.
Like Kevin Durant taking the night off to just play defense. I could see him doing that because he's kind of has low ego. You know what I mean? I could see him doing that. But you tell James Harden to take off all night to play defense and not get no shots? I don't see that working. But if James Harden plays for the Philadelphia 76ers, Ben Simmons, hey, look, distribute the ball, play defense, get everybody involved. It works better. James Harden, score, get Ben open in transition. Oh, half court set. You get Embiid ready, Embiid kick out the open shooters. It works so much better if he's here in Philadelphia versus in Brooklyn. Pick your poison. But you could also say that in Brooklyn.
I'd give it to Harden.
I agree. This is my guy right here.
I can tell.
Talk that talk.
I can tell because I
This is my guy right here. Let's go, Jordan.
Yeah,
you on, bro? You got the floor.
You got the mop. He didn't like doing that, though. He didn't like doing that. He was on the record of saying he didn't like doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. But, Jordan.
Nothing looks good on his legacy. It's
Okay.
Kevin Durant we're talking about. Yeah, why not? I'd do it. I'd do it or I wouldn't do it. Either or is cool.
All right, Jordan. Our time's normally up, but before we go, real quick, what's the one game that you spend hours on them playing, video game wise? Yeah.
What video game have you spent a lot of time on?
Hours on end on?
Any video
in
game.
your lifetime.
Okay.
There we go.
All right, Jordan. Once again, thanks for calling in. You got the number every Tuesday, 5 to 7. Call us back anytime, man. All right.
Take it easy.
Peace.
So we're about to wrap this up. We got 2 minutes left. I just want to talk about our acquisitions real quick because we weren't able to get to it thanks to all the great callers.
Oh,
and
by
listeners.
the way, I noticed that dig you did on Ricky Rubio just to upset my man.
he didn't bite for it. So anyway, the Sixers they got Dwight Howard in here, who's a former All-Star, former Defensive Player of the Year, which is absolutely outstanding.
Yeah, 12 to 15 minutes for Joel Embiid every night.
Absolutely. Seth Curry, who's second all-time in three-point percentage, 44.3. Steve Kerr is first. That's what we get on our team now. The reason I'm bringing that up is because Ben Simmons finds wide open three-point shooters. He's number 1 in the league for that. We also got Ferguson from OKC, who is a great 3-and-D guy who helps out. So I'm very excited about that. And then let's talk about our draft picks real quick. I know we don't have a lot of time. Isaiah Joe, we got him.
Shooter.
Yeah, less than a minute. We got him. He's a knockdown shooter. He can definitely work on his timing, get a little bit, stronger. That's what they say about youngsters all the time.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey, who was our 21st pick, who I'm very
Great
surprised that
combo
he dropped
guard.
down to us.
Yeah.
Kentucky guys usually go top 5, so this is a steal for us, in my opinion. And then last but not least, I love Paul Reed. I think he's going to be a fan favorite here in Philadelphia, especially if you guys love TJ McConnell because this guy does everything here in Philadelphia.
I do love TJ McConnell.
Absolutely.
Just a quick shout out, Rutgers and Syracuse men's basketball coming this week and next week when they play against each other. I can't wait for that.
Anyway, I wanted to say once again, thank you for this amazing panel. Also,
Yes.
our live audience right here as well. Listen, this show was just a 2-hour radio show up at Millersville University. Then after I graduated, it turned into a weekly talk show I did with my friends. Then we was at Germantown Radio. And now we're here, 1 year anniversary, still going on strong. We got shirts. We are official now here at Uptown Radio Philly. And once again, thank you for everybody calling in for our anniversary show. And we want to thank Freeman and Juan for, guest spotting here. You guys are welcome back anytime. Just hit us up. And once again, for Chris Thomas,
Mark Thompson.
you'll be listening to the Running Back Radio Show. Peace.
Take it easy.
Yo.
All right.
Oh, we spent too much time talking about Kevin Durant.
Spend
It
too
made
much
me
time
sick
talking
to my
about NFL.
We
stomach.
spent too much time on Carson Wentz.
Hit the mics, bro.
Yeah.